Hello, everybody. How are you? Good. Welcome to the last day of eBay Open. I'm super excited to be here today. I'll talk a bit about myself, but I do have a lot of content to cover, so I'll be brief. I'm historically a very long-winded person, so I'm going to try to calm that down a bit. But love being here. This has been a blast. Thank you all for being here. I do want to say, last night after dinner, I was walking back to my room, had to stop, play a slot machine. 10 minutes, won $100. So you're welcome. Called my wife, said we'd made it. I'm retiring. I'm done. So we're good to go. After this, I'll be done working for the rest of my life. No, but I'm super excited to be here. I hope you guys are having a good time as well at eBay. We've had so much awesome content, so this has been fun. But now, I've been at eBay for 14 years. Over the past couple of years, I've had an amazing opportunity to travel the U.S., meet with so many sellers like yourself. 90% of my tenure at eBay has actually been spent working with sellers and focusing on seller development, helping sellers grow their business, which has been awesome. It's been everything from social media to, if anyone's heard of the Growth Advisor program, helped launch that a while back. We've had some advertising focus with the team, and now I run account management for our small, medium business seller cohort, which I absolutely love. Honestly, the small, medium business cohort is amazing because a lot of the sellers in this space for SMB are specifically focused on growing your business, and that's exactly what you're here to do and what you want to do, and it's probably why all of you are here. What can we learn to actually help you amplify your listings and put you in a position to where you can increase velocity of sales? And that's what we'll go through today. So I'm going to dive into the agenda, and we'll walk through some of the topics that we're going to talk about. So first and foremost, this will be about our advertising efforts and the different products and the variety of products that we've actually launched over the past couple of years. So we'll talk about unlocking your accessibility to promoted listings. That'll be the first topic. So I'm assuming that majority of the people in this room, and I do want to welcome everybody online right now. I know we have a virtual audience. This will be the first session I'm running where we actually have a virtual audience as well. And so I'm super excited to introduce and have everyone here for this as well and talk about the content. But we'll go through the majority of my time talking about the different promoted listings products. Majority of people, I'm sure, are familiar with our promoted listings general strategy product. It is the cost per sale model. And that's been the one that we've used over the past years that you probably all have tried at least one point in your selling history. But we'll talk about the priority product. We'll talk about promoted stores and some of our store subscriptions and features. And then we'll also talk about our offsite ads product as well. That'll get you more of that off-platform Google visibility and how you can maximize. I'm also going to give you my personal tips and tricks of what I feel strategically works when leveraging all of these products and when you should consider one versus the other. And these are things I've picked up over time in conversations working with sellers, and I want to make sure I cascade as much information as I can. So a lot of content, and then we will leave 10 minutes at the end, 15 minutes at the end to do some Q&A. We are going to bounce back and forth between Dallas Reed, my colleague in the back, who's amazing, has an amazing voice, is going to chime in and pretend he's the online sellers and read some of those questions. And then we have a mic here in the middle where you can line up at the end and ask questions as well. We will talk about personalized tools to help scale and grow your business, which will be some of the things that we've launched over the past little while to help you learn how to use these products better, and some tools and enhancements that we've done. Simplifying for sellers and elevating for buyers will be focused on our store subscription services, what those can offer. I know I can't see those online, but how many in the room have a store subscription today? This is exactly what I thought. It's like 99% of the room has a store subscription. So we'll skim through that one and spend more time on the advertising products, but we'll touch on that and then what our promoted stores can offer for you. And then we'll go over some key takeaways and jump to questions. All right, so unlocking accessibility. Love this slide because what this will show you is these are the different priority strategies, the promoted listing strategies that we have available for our sellers today. So first and foremost, we'll go in the second column over, the general campaign strategy. I want to touch on that because the majority of people are more familiar with this particular product. This is a cost per sale model. So for those that aren't aware, what that essentially means is when you launch a promoted listings general campaign strategy, what that will do is you'll get the visibility. I call it somewhat of a shotgun approach where it will plaster your listings across the site in multiple locations. There's over 100 locations your listing will appear on eBay when leveraging this particular strategy. Now the difference in this particular strategy There's a couple of things. One, this strategy can be used for fixed price as well as auctions now, which is something we've launched in the past couple of years, is your ability to leverage and promote auction listings. But the other thing with the promoted listings general, different than the priority strategy, is the visibility you get with this one, but it's more focused on, in the general strategy, just elevating your listings and getting it visible in places the buyer actually may or may not be searching for it. It just puts it in places where they might be seen. So they see it in their peripheral. Great, I love that. I'm going to click on it and buy it. The priority strategy differs in the sense that it's designed to give you the premium placements where buyers are actually searching for that particular item. And that's why there's a difference between cost per click and a cost per sale. Let's either put it up and more visibility potentially leads to more sales, or the buyer's looking for this particular listing at this particular type of item. We're going to elevate it in the search page. We're going to elevate it in premium placements so that clicks lead to sales. The difference in the visibility of the two items. So I'll jump to priority a little bit more in depth as well, and we'll go through some more slides and talk a bit more about it. But again, a fixed price, cost per click model with the priority strategy. So here's what I like to, my kind of 2 cents, Dallin McKee, throw out there for you on how to leverage these particular products. The campaign strategy, you can have a few different strategies, the general strategy, a few different strategies within your business that I feel like work with this particular model. You can actually, and the one that I think works the best is all of you know which of your listings are performing really, really well, which ones that all they need is more visibility, and they'll probably lead towards sales. Anytime you're advertising on eBay, that's always your number one best strategy, right? Let me elevate the listings that I know if they just got a boost in visibility, they'll increase sales. That's the best strategy for the general campaign. However, with the general strategy, you can actually do everything in your inventory. And I've seen a lot of sellers have a lot of success with that. You can just promote everything. And you can adjust your bid ad rates to match the budget that you want to spend on it all. But there's not as much risk to it because, again, you're getting the visibility. It doesn't charge you unless it actually works, right? So you're getting the service. So that's worked. And for those not comfortable with that, just leverage the ones of your best performing, highest converting listings, and you'll see more success that way as well. I've also seen sellers have quite a bit of success when they're like, hey, I just got a bunch of stagnant, stale inventory, and I don't care if I make money. I just want to get rid of it. I got to get out of my warehouse. I got to make some room, whatever the case is. Let me try a general campaign strategy and just try to move that stuff out of my way. And I've seen that, and sellers have that type of a strategy as well, and it's tended to work pretty good also on occasion. Again, I don't recommend that to start out with, right? Because you definitely want to focus on your best listings and move those in a velocity, by velocity, and more sales. So I'm going to shift to priority. Very different, right? You do not want to promote everything in your priority strategy campaigns. Very different model. So this is designed for listings that have multi-quantity, so not necessarily single quantity listings, and I'll dive into why. This is designed for listings where you have a pretty decent amount, decent margins for it. Maybe you have $20 or above type of listings, not the kind of single $1, $2, $3 type of items, obviously. And the reason it's designed for multi-quantity listings is because what you're trying to do with this particular model is not measure success one sale by one sale by one sale, and I only have X amount of margins per this sale, and I spent X amount to sell this one item. That's not what success looks like with this product. This product is designed to say, if I invest, let's say, an additional $100 a month in a priority campaign, but I sell an additional 400, 500, 600 extra items this month because of it, now was I successful? And was I more profitable because I was doing that? And that's how you measure the success of whether or not it's working, not looking at it at the individual. So again, you have a particular product, seasonality, holidays coming. A lot of you probably have some different type of inventory that you're bringing in for the holiday, or you're going to amplify for the holiday or promote for the holiday. Now, that's the perfect time to leverage this type of a product when you have hundreds of these listings and you're wanting to move it. Again, velocity of sales is key, right? So that being said, you'll leverage this particular campaign. You can toggle back and forth. You can do both of them running on different types of listings, and you can have different strategies that'll be successful for you. Promoted stores. So I know a lot of you raised your hand saying that you actually have a store, which is great. And so with promoted stores, if you're not familiar with this is something you can invest in, and it is a cost per click model as well. What this will do for you is it'll put a banner on different pages. We'll go through where those placements are. It'll put a banner on different pages where you'll be able to highlight your brand. You can create a brand on eBay. What I love about promoted stores is how many, let's just actually get a look in the room. How many people in the room actually have buyers that are saving you as a seller or following your store? Yeah, see how that's what the store is designed to do. And this particular product is actually designed to help increase the amount of buyers and repeat buyers you have coming back to your site. So you want to amplify your store, promote your store. If you have that type of inventory, I know one thing as an example that does really, really well is trading cards and collectibles, right? Everyone knows that if you're a trading card enthusiast and you find someone that has that particular type of inventory that you're continually looking for, man, you're going to save that seller and you're going to come back and continually check up on what they have. And so that's what this is designed to do, is kind of bring in that repeat buyer base. If you feel like you're not in that space where repeat customers is what your category or the items that you sell don't typically do that, you know, it's one of those things where you may not need to use promoted stores. You don't want to drive traffic if it's not creating repeat customers, but that's what it's designed to help do. So very cool about that one. And then promoted offsite. So promoted offsite is awesome. I know a lot of people have questions. Well, okay, I've seen eBay listings appear on Google as an example when I haven't really invested in promoted offsite. So what's the difference? And I'll answer that question now, which is great. So as eBay, we definitely have a great relationship with Google, and we're going to continue that relationship. We're going to continue those investments to make sure things continue to surface. If you're using promoted listings general, you've probably seen inconsistently some of your listings pop up on the Google platform as well, and that's going to continue to happen. What promoted offsite does, though, is it allows you as a seller, when you say, hey, most of my buyers are just Google searches, because what a buyer will do, we've found, and you all probably see this, is they'll search for a particular item in Google, but then what they're looking for is a trusted site that they want to click into, drill into, and go purchase that item from somewhere they actually trust. And eBay being one of those platforms. So if your buyers are typically that type of a buyer, now you have the opportunity to somewhat get in the driver's seat, invest in that offsite visibility, and get more consistency in your placements on Google as opposed to the inconsistency through the general program, because we're just surfacing up things that Google's really looking for in the algorithm versus you saying, hey, I'm putting my investment in to drive that consistency in my visibility. And so that's what it's designed to do, is give you more of that control over that visibility there. So that's one thing that we've seen a lot of success with. All right, so we're going to jump now into a feature of the promoted listings general campaign strategy. So as I've told you guys, I've spent so much time with sellers over the past few years, and you've heard this throughout all of eBay Open. I know in the keynote there was so many different times when leaders and members of eBay are asking you, please give us feedback. And I'm going to continue to ask you to do that because this is crucial. One thing I heard over and over and over as I've kind of toured the U.S. Speaking with sellers and as I've worked with sellers over the past few years is I do everything from my mobile app, right? And I can't manage my promoted listings campaigns through my mobile app. And it's a bit frustrating because I've got to pull up my laptop. I can't see how they're performing. I can't check up on the performance. So I'm here to say I'm happy to announce, and I know Elizabeth Rommel in one of the keynote sessions announced this as well, but now you have the ability to manage your promoted listings general campaign strategies through the mobile app, which is awesome. You can actually launch a campaign. You can manage and look at the analytics and the performance of your campaign, see how it's performing. You can drill into a existing campaign and actually alter listings or change your the bid ad rates that you're leveraging now. You can change whatever you need to manage that promoted listings general campaign. And I emphasize general. It's not yet launched for priority. It's not yet launched for offsite ads. But I get this gut feeling the way things are going. It's just a matter of time before we see the mobile app able to manage all your promoted listings. And again, with general, you only pay when your item sells. So we're going to walk through briefly to show you exactly how easy it is to start up a promoted listings campaign through the mobile app. So first and foremost, when you're in the app, you'll see in the bottom right-hand corner the tab that says Selling. From there, you'll click on Advertising, and it will take you to the advertising page. From that section, you're actually going to click on either Promote or will promote your listings, and then you're going to select the listings that you want to promote. Now you have the option to choose your bid ad rate, whether you want to go with the suggested bid ad rate or you want to have your own custom bid ad rate. You can choose the suggested, you can go slightly under. We've seen success all over the place. And I'll tell you about a seller I spoke with earlier once we go through this slide. But that's it. Once you choose your suggested ad rate, you've selected your listings, you hit launch. You'll see down here now, it's showing you can take a look at the performance of that particular campaign over 7, 30, 90 days, or a custom view to see over time what's happening to my sales and how is this campaign performing. So this is something historically we've only been able to see on the laptop or the computer, right? And now you can do that. This is drilling in now and showing how you can actually change and adjust that particular campaign by changing the ad rate and either amplify and boost your performance, or hey, I want to slow down the cost of what I'm spending and investing and actually lower the ad rate. So when it comes to ad rates as well, as this is finishing up, you can see as well there's frequently asked questions you can go through and make sure that you get as much knowledge as possible. But when we're talking about ad rates, I spoke with a gentleman the other day, and this is a question that comes up, so I want to try to answer this now in case it comes up later, is, hey, how should I manage that? What should I be looking at? And there's two things that I look at when it looks at the performance of your campaigns and where to set those ad rates for general. They were doing a lower than suggested ad rate, and they were seeing quite a big boost in their sales and their business. And that's amazing, right? So the suggested ad rate is there to show you, based off of your competitors and based off of what everyone else is doing within your particular market, what do we suggest you set the ad rate at to be competitive? That doesn't mean if you're under that, you're not going to get visibility. It doesn't mean if you're over that, you're going to dwarf everybody else and absolutely win, which, your chances are better when you're over that. But that just shows you kind of where the industry is set for that particular day, and it updates in real time. Right? So you can set it where you want. They were significantly under seeing a lot of success, and they were asking me, should I raise it? And my answer is, well, that's dependent on you, right? Like if you feel like you have the ability to do that and you're comfortable spending that additional money and you have the inventory, you just want to keep moving inventory, there's a couple things I'll look at. One, start small, right? Don't just jump from I can't remember what they were doing, but maybe they were doing 3%. Don't just jump to 20%, right? Like go from 3% to 5% and see what that does. Because what I want all the sellers to know is that we want you to be profitable in what you're investing. It's not about spending money and hoping what happens. You've got to be profitable, and I'm sure that's what you guys want as well. So what you don't want to see necessarily is just the promoted portion of what your listings are doing, or promoted of your sales, just eating or into the organic. You don't want to see it cannibalizing the organic. What you want to see is overall sales going up, not just sales staying the same, but now I'm promoting more. So that's how you'll look at the analytics to understand if it's successful. So if you're promoting more, but your overall sales aren't going up, my recommendation, I'd lower a little bit of how much you're spending on the promoting and see if your sales stay the same, right? However, if you promote more and your overall sales go up and your promoted sales go up, and even some of your organic might stay the same or might go up, either way, as long as your sales are going up and to the right, that's a positive, and that's what you want to focus on. So that'll be a way to make sure, look at your overall sales, and as you promote more, make sure the overall sales are going up and it's working for you. Okay, personalized tools to help you sell and grow. So over the past couple of years, we've actually spent a lot of time focused on developing the promoted listings priority strategy, which is the cost per click model. What we've seen over advancing this and advancing the placements and opening up different places for visibility and focusing on buyer behavior, where should these listings appear, is sellers can see more than a 45% increase in sale on average when leveraging the promoted listings priority campaign strategy compared to non-promoted items. That's a pretty big deal, right? And again, as you all know, everyone's fighting to get those top placements at the top of search, right? And this is what this is designed to do, is give you that opportunity to compete in that space and get that visibility. So some things we've done to help you learn how to do that. Over the time, we've released 3 different, features here to help you grow your business in advertising. One is today's recommendations we'll dive into. One is trend-based campaigns, and we'll also talk briefly about that. And one is suggested campaigns. So I'm going to dive first and foremost into today's recommendations. This particular thing is something that's awesome. If you can see on the screen, in the middle of the screen where it says today's recommendations, and I hope that's not too small, looks all right. But what this is designed to do is, as you have an active promoted listings priority campaign, we want to make sure that through AI and analytics, we give you insights and tips and tricks on how you can improve that campaign. So today's recommendations are updated daily. Some of them obviously might be the same day or the same recommendation day to day, but that's just because maybe you haven't changed that particular or taken advantage of that recommendation yet. But as an example, it'll tell you add additional keywords, and it will give you suggestions on what those keywords should be. It'll tell you adjust the bid ad rates for these particular keywords. It'll tell you increase your daily budget maybe because you're burning through your daily budget halfway through the day, which means then your campaign is no longer working the rest of the day, maybe at peak moments of when buyers are on the site. So these are things that we've designed through AI and analytics to help you say, okay, what am I supposed to do once I have a campaign to optimize and improve that campaign? And that's what you can do. Trend-based campaigns, this has been something we've done over the past year, which is amazing. So what you actually do is eBay will look at the site holistically, and through AI, we're trying to figure out what are the top trending items and top trending listings throughout the site that are actually performing very, very well holistically. So not looking at you as an individual seller, but looking holistically at the site, and then pinging and sending a notification to those sellers that are within that space and have those types of listings and saying, hey, you have listings in a trending category. Here's a campaign we've built on the listings that we see are having great success with this particular product. You can just click on Launch Campaign. Everything's set up, the keywords and everything. You'll choose your ad rates and you'll choose your daily budget for those particular campaigns, but it's generated by AI to make it simple for you and help you know what's trending now. Seasonality coming up, like I said, will probably be a great opportunity to leverage these trend-based campaigns. The difference in trend-based campaigns and the suggested campaigns are analytics looking at your particular business, your particular listings, and creating a campaign that give you the most opportunity with what you have that we think would be the best listings and the best campaigns to launch. These are also ready to launch campaigns put into your advertising dashboard where you just have to click on unpause or launch campaign. You can choose to do that or not do that. Obviously, it won't launch without your say-so and your click to launch them, but they are a created campaign. You can also go in, scan through the particular campaign and decide whether or not it matches what you think you actually want to do. You can change and alter a few things if you want to within that campaign, leave it as is and launch it. But what I love about these two last features, the trend-based campaigns and the suggested campaigns, is this is what I've seen sellers doing with this to learn how priority campaigns actually work. So, meaning if you're still learning, I want to see how this works, launch one of these campaigns, watch it, monitor it, check the analytics, see what keywords. You can actually scroll through and look at keyword by keyword and see which ones are generating clicks and which ones are driving impressions, which ones are leading to conversion. And you can start to learn, okay, this is how the campaigns work. Maybe I want to remove these keywords because they're not driving any volume. I want to amplify these keywords and put a little bit more investment into those. And you can use these to learn how the products work. And then from there, if you kind of want to take the listings that are doing the best within these campaigns, move those into a more manual campaign that you create, and maybe you drop the ones that you don't think are driving as much insight. Maybe you just feel like, I want my investment here and not with this longer list, and move those out. And this is a way you can kind of learn and use some of these products as a way to amplify your business and figure out how to make the most out of your spend. Right? So those are a few things that we've launched with the the priority campaigns. Now, smart targeting is another option and a feature that we have within the priority campaign strategy. So when you go to create a priority campaign strategy, you have one of two options. One is you can launch it as a manual campaign. So meaning if you're kind of a control freak like some of us tend to be, you can pick and choose everything. You can pick and choose the listings. You can pick and choose the keywords. You can choose the bid ad rates, your own daily budget. Obviously, you can do your own daily budget anytime. But you can manage and manually control everything that goes into that campaign. If you choose smart targeting, you'll select the listings, choose smart targeting. What that will do is that will pre-select through AI and analytics all of the keywords and the placements and how that listing should appear or how the campaign should be run. And that way you just let the system do it and hit launch. Now the difference here is smart targeting, you can't remove, change, and adjust the keywords because that's designed to keep the integrity of what AI is telling it to do to optimize the performance. But a cool thing, again, that I've seen sellers do that works really, really well, launch the smart campaign, let it run, and again, analyze, take a look, which keywords are working, what's not, which listings are doing well, which ones are not. Build a manual campaign off of it, and again, put your investment where you want to put your investment and drive velocity and sales in where you want to drive velocity and sales with your budget. Or great, maybe the smart targeting is actually really, really working for you and you don't need to change anything. But you have those options to end and do kind of what you want. But these are opportunities just that I've learned in working with sellers over time. You learn how to actually really manage these campaigns to success. Okay, so for sake of time now, this will show you a walkthrough on how to do that, but I want to jump into this slide here that kind of shows you how to manage your best practices for setting a target daily budget. So I know a lot of you talk about your margins and you're thinking about your margins and where should I spend my investment and how. Again, I can't stress enough, one key takeaway I want you to have out of this presentation is our priority campaign strategy is designed to focus on an increase in velocity of sales. So you really want to focus on, I have a lot of inventory of this particular product, multi-quantity listings, increase of velocity. So when you're thinking about your daily budget, think about if I were to spend X amount of money and I get X amount of sales out of it, you can manage your own idea of success within that range, but you're just looking for that velocity and what budget are you comfortable with to drive that velocity. A few ways you can do that is align your business goals with what margins and what budget you feel like you have. A lot of companies out there have what they put aside as an advertising budget, and that's essentially what this would be. What's my advertising budget for the month, right? Start small. As you're learning, like I talked about, don't dive right into above suggested ad rates, and above suggested daily budgets and things like that. Like, you can be slightly under, see what works, spend time kind of ramping up and start to play with it and kind of see what you're comfortable with and what's working and what's not working. Use eBay's recommendations, plan for a monthly cap. We kind of talked about it, just mid-month based on real-time insights. You really want to pay attention to your analytics here. I know a lot of the features we launched has really helped sellers to understand how to manage their campaigns effectively, but you do want to pay attention to the analytics. And, it's not difficult, it's just new sometimes to some people, right? And so anything new tends to be difficult until it becomes second nature. Be flexible, regularly review your performance of these campaigns and adjust accordingly. So I know a lot of people are familiar with eBay stores, and so I don't want to go too deep into eBay stores. And so I get time for questions. I'm actually going to kind of breeze through these, but you all know the benefits of eBay stores. Professional brand presence, you get to build, and exclusive promotions and marketing tools. As you know, you get access to Markdown Manager. You do get lowering costs and some free insertion fees. Every subscription of store offers you a different level of the amount of insertion fees. You get access again to some of those tools and some advanced analytics and insights. Every level of the store subscription you have can lead to additional opportunities of analytics and insights and dashboards that you have access to. Also, when you're choosing the store that's right for you, you can think about the size of your business. Those that are familiar, I'm going to jump to this next view, excuse me, and show you briefly. This is a page within the help pages where you can identify the different features and the different types of stores and what they offer you. You also get to see on the bottom the cost of each of these stores, so you can think about your business strategy as well and what makes sense for you from a subscription perspective. You have the basic store, the starter store, which is the entry level if you're just getting started and you're starting to ramp inventory, but you want to learn how they work, you want to learn how Markdown Manager works. You have the basic store, which is now you're starting to grow. And you get access to a few additional listings, free insertion fees, and a few different analytics. Premium store, which is, okay, now I'm really starting to grow and I need more insertion fees. We talked to a gentleman earlier today who said, hey, I had to increase my store because I noticed I was paying a lot in insertion fees and it was cheaper for me to have the premium subscription over the basic to take advantage of those, right? The Anchor store and the Enterprise store, obviously those give the maximum amount of free insertion fees, which is great, but they also open doors to a few other things. You get different analytics, a few more dashboards. You also get access to our premium customer service channels. So the Anchor store and the Enterprise store get access to our concierge or merchant support operations customer service channels to give you some additional support in that regard as well, obviously designed for large businesses there. So you can go through it and see all those and see which one is right for you and your business. So get started with your eBay store today. It's very, very easy. Again, I want to leave time for questions. So that just walks you through how to launch your campaign. But I do want to talk, or how to launch your Anchor store, or your subscription to a store. I do want to walk through real quick intelligent budget pacing. So this is something we've launched with the promoted stores feature now. So now that you have an eBay store and you're looking to promote that store, the way that this intelligent budget pacing will work is you're going to set a daily budget and say, hey, I want to advertise my store, but I don't want to go over X amount of money. Let's just say it's $100 per day, right? I don't want to go over that amount of money in a day. But what intelligent budget pacing will do is it's not necessarily going to say, okay, every day you're just going to hit $100 and that's all you're going to hit. It's going to look at the month and say, okay, on average, there's about 30.4 days per month. So your total spend that you're willing to invest for that particular month is $3,040, right? And so what it's going to do then is say, we want to maximize your visibility on the highest possible days where the most buyers are actually on the site. And we're going to increase your daily budget for some of those days, and we're going to decrease it on low traffic days. So that way your investment is spent when there's the most traffic on site and what we anticipate from buyer behavior. So you're getting better visibility, more bang for your buck, but it will never go over your maximum monthly amount. So you're still staying within your budget, and that's why we say think about your budget spend with a monthly view in mind of your advertising budget. Okay, so now you've promoted your store. Now you've promoted all your listings. You know all the products. You're all experts because this presentation was that amazing. But I do want to say, go ahead, try these products out. Start small, practice, have some fun with it. Think about your business and a daily budget. Again, sellers who promote their stores see a 60% increase in sales or store sites, in store visits compared to non-promoted stores. So we see success there. And then one last thing on stores, you have two options to launch your campaigns for promoted stores, the category level and the coupons level. So at a category level, it'll highlight those particular listings in the banner that are in the category you're trying to highlight. If a seller clicks on the listing, it'll take them to that listing to purchase. If they click anywhere else on the banner, it'll take them into your eBay store. If you have a particular coupon, you can choose promote stores by coupon, same concept. It'll show the coupon listings into that item or into your store, highlighting the coupon items.